We're back. Another great episode of Fantastic Four, and the Dolphins are on the clock.
Yeah. Although
Officially,
we don't know where our draft position is going to be quite yet, do we?
nah.
The way this team's going is just going to get better and better and better. Our
Yeah.
draft position.
I'm all for that. I want what's his name? Quinn Ewers.
How do
I
you
want him
say
to
his
do really
name?
well, but not so well that we win these last two games.
Um,
Hey, he had a first good half. He was trading back and forth with Cincinnati, Joe Burrow. And then, four turnovers in a row didn't help in the third quarter.
I was upset with the play calling with him. They babied him, I believe, in that game. To me, I would have gone out. Hey, what is he, like a fifth round draft pick or sixth round
Yeah.
draft pick? Nobody expect him to light up the place. Nobody thinks he's going to save the Dolphins season because this can't be saved. So I would have gone from the beginning. Let's see what this guy's got. You know,
Yeah.
Well, his first interception should have been pass
you
interference.
know. Well, his first
Yeah.
interception wasn't his fault. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it should have been pass interference. The defender got there way before the ball did, and that should have nullified that first interception and gave us the first down into the red zone. But
I want to point out one thing, guys, before we talk about whether Ewers did a good job or this or that. The Dolphins got blown out at home in close to 80-degree weather
Yeah.
by the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
mhm.
Okay. A
Yep.
team with arguably the worst defense in the NFL in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. I
All
mean,
right? And
but we had a rookie playing, right? I mean, we had a rookie playing, and
not
then
on offense,
they got a capable
not on
quarterback.
defense. I'm sorry.
Yeah, our defense really let us down in this
They did.
game.
Joe Burrow looked like the Joe Burrow of what he's supposed to look like, because they couldn't get any pressure on the guy. Joe Burrow, if you give him time, he's going to eat you up. He's as good as any quarterback out there. Right? They put no pressure on him, and that's why he wants. Everybody knows he wants out of Cincinnati because he's got no line. And that
Well, we'll take him in Miami.
to me, that was the worst game of the season.
Oh yeah.
It was by far.
Yeah.
That looked like a
Well, yeah,
team.
we got up and walked out.
That looks like
Yeah.
a team that gave up. They're done. All right. Aside from Achan, who he's just going for the money and the Pro Bowl stuff and everything. I'm watching that game. I'm seeing receivers after they do their route, and if viewers had to move around a bit in the pocket, they weren't helping them. They weren't coming back for the ball or anything. A defense that was like just reaching out, trying to grab guys instead because they don't want to get hurt. I'm very disappointed. I was a McDaniels fan, and I thought he was going to be back for next season. After this game, I think he's lost the team. They've lost. I think he's lost the team. They're not playing for him.
I see it from a different perspective. I look at it at the moment that the team sat Tua, it sent a signal to all of the players that were nursing injuries or were playing a little hurt because we still had, a playoff hope in place. That that dynamic, if you look at it, Westbrook was out, Washington was out, a tackle was out, Lamb, a cornerback was out, Mika Fitzpatrick was out, right? I mean, when you take out the best safety in the league out, right? There's not much you can do. I mean, and kind of that's what happened to us, a safety and a corner and a defensive tackle, right? A little bit on all three layers, and then you couldn't rely on the rookie because he can't put that game on his back, not at this point.
No. And just like the quarterback, we want to see what we have with everybody else on this team. We rest the start. Let the starters rest. Let's see what we got, and we don't got much.
When I heard that they've made Tua the emergency backup, that's basically telling viewers, hey, listen, you're our guy, at least for this game, because even if we want to, even if you throw 5 interceptions, we can't put Tua in. Okay. He's the emergency backup. He can't go in unless him and Zach Wilson get hurt. All right.
All right.
So it's saying, okay, so let's move on. Let's see what happens. Let's see if this is the guy. So far,
He was there. I saw him on the bench, Tony.
he was there
He-
because he's
yeah.
the emergency quarterback. He
He
can't.
he had his iPad out with looking at it every once in a while. I'd look down at him, and there he is at the end of the bench.
When you're the emergency quarterback, you dress, you're there, but you can only go in if your starter and your second guy both get hurt. They got to go to blue tent, and an NFL doctor's got to say you're out.
That's a job there.
That's just the emergency guy. All right.
That's for 39 million. I take that job.
That's because he doesn't count against the 53-man roster.
Exactly.
He has to come in and he's your 54th guy.
Yeah, that's the NFL, because they don't want to have a thing where they lose their 2 starting quarterbacks and then they can't play anybody.
Right.
I like yours.
Getting real close there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I like yours. I don't think he's not the solution. I don't see it.
Well, I saw he's got the zip on the ball. He's got a better arm than Tua. I'll give him that.
He made the right throw a couple times, just overthrew it. Mm-hmm. He wasn't in sync with his wide receiver. I think he needs time to develop, just like everybody else. You know what we don't do in Miami like they do in Green Bay is they develop quarterbacks. We don't develop quarterbacks, and all 4 of our quarterbacks aren't great, or all 3 of our quarterbacks aren't good, right? Only one of our quarterbacks is typically good, and it's because they're talented. It's not because we've grown them or
you really
sharpened them.
You really can't develop a quarterback now because you can't afford to keep a good guy on the bench because of free agency. If you're a good quarterback and you think you can start and you can get money, and you go, I'm on the bench. As soon as your contract's up, I'm out. I'm going to go someplace else where they're going to pay me and I'm going to start. It's not like the old days where they used to draft. I remember when I was young, they used to draft a quarterback in the 1st or 2nd round, and you wouldn't see him for 2 years. He'd be on the bench. Okay. learning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about rookies, I'm not talking about, veterans. You should know about your rookie in the first couple of years. I mean, at least you should know enough about this guy at this point. Does he have zip on the ball? You should know all those things. Can he read a defense? By now, we should know if he can read a defense.
And there are a lot of guys who have zip on the ball. They just can't do anything out there.
Yeah, they just can't read defense.
I don't even want to talk about
it. He can't read defense and has no zip on the ball.
The only thing I want to mention really in the news is Achane made the Pro Bowl, deservedly so.
That's great.
He got named to the Pro Bowl. I want to forget about the game. I don't even want to talk about because it's there. Aside from that one run by Achane, there was really nothing.
Well, like I said, we got up and left. We were like, let's beat this traffic out of here.
But it was, by the time we left, it had already steadied, leaked out. Yeah. We didn't, just get up and leave with everybody, right? It was a slow trickle, and when we looked around, it was like, yeah, it's time to go.
Well, we waited till after they scored that touchdown there, right at the end to get 21 points.
Yeah,
they were kind of driving the ball down. We're like, "You ready to go?" And I was like, "Let's just see if what they can do with this drive here." Obviously, they're not going to come back and win the game,
right?
But I would like to see them go down and score a touchdown, which they did.
We did, yeah.
So that gives you a little bit of hope. But like I said, I want him to do really well, but I don't want him to do good enough to win these last two games. I feel like if we
Yeah.
can get enough draft capital and we can put enough trades in there, that we can
Well,
maybe get his what's his name, Mendoza.
yeah. Well, right now we're sitting
I
at
would
number
like to.
10.
I would like to be able to,
The
work some
only way,
deals. And
there's been all kinds of reports about that. The only way the Dolphins can get Mendoza is if they trade up, and they're going to have to give up a lot to trade up
yeah,
to
Two
get him.
first
They're
rounds,
talking two
second
first rounds and two
round.
second rounds for
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy.
I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to do it.
I wouldn't do that because you can bring up the next Dan Marino, and if you don't have, he'll get killed out there if you don't. You got to build a line. You got to build.
They
You
can
Well,
know,
we
run. They
got a
got a
line.
running team.
Like I said on the last show, we're one quarterback away. Our defense is lights out. Our
oh yeah,
offensive line has
lights out.
finally
How
come
many
together to run the ball.
lights
Well,
out?
Hear the
They
drums
just got blown out by the Cincinnati Bengals, man. The Bengals. All
yeah,
right.
but like they're
And Pittsburgh, who's no offensive powerhouse either, the week before pushed them around also. That's
I
two
guarantee
crappy defensive
you,
games in a row.
if we would have beat Pittsburgh the week before, and we were still in the running, you would have saw a different defense out there. Fitzpatrick would have played. These guys would play through these injuries, like Jose said. You got these guys had one little nagging injury, and they're like, "Oh, I'm out, coach." Because there's no reason. There's no reason to put Minka Fitzpatrick out there to get hurt in a meaningless game.
Exactly.
There's
The
no
And
fact
reason to
is,
and
do
that's where we're at.
the fact is, last week against Pittsburgh, they had to win that game, and the defense said, "Nah."
it.
Okay, they got pushed around by Pittsburgh, which is not a good offensive team by any means. All right. Then after that embarrassment, they come home. They can't complain about the weather. They can't complain about the field. They can't complain about the crowd, and they got their butts kicked. Their
Yep.
butts kicked. Okay. I mean, if they
Offense
lost,
kind of broke apart in the second half.
and
Yeah. Well, the first half they were good. I mean, they were exchanging the lead back and forth. We had the lead at one point, and it looked like we could win the game. But then they came out the second half and just stunk up the place, which I was kind of expecting because I don't really think they're putting a lot of emphasis into winning these last three games. They're just not. I think they want to go for the higher draft pick. If they can have more draft capital, then they're going to be able to maybe move up and get Mendoza.
We're sitting at 10 right now.
with all the stuff with the lawsuit and all the accusations against the Dolphins that are out there about tanking before, I really doubt that there's anybody in that organization saying, "Hey, yeah, whispering," because
Oh no, they're not going to admit that. No.
But they're going to throw a rookie out there.
Yeah.
Well, I understand throwing the rookie out there. Let's give it a shot.
I mean, they could have pulled the rookie, right? At the second interception,
Mm-hmm.
they could have pulled the rookie. At the second turnover, they could have pulled the rookie. Now they wanted two more. Right?
What happened was last week, Stephen Ross looked at ticket sales at the Dolphins and people renewing their season tickets and everything. Oh no, Tua's got to go. Okay, and if they just started Tua this week against Cincinnati, there would have been people asking for refunds.
The sentiment right now, anytime you see anything on social media that suggests that we should bring Tua back, it's like no, don't do it. People are done with Tua.
But the thing is that's going to bring a $99 million hit to the Dolphins. I mean, he's gonna get 54 million guaranteed, but the hit to the Dolphins is going to be $99 million.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
That is true. That's exactly
the question is how do you remove the risk of 54 million? And what you do is you come in and you say, I'll pay half. Right? Here's 25 million. You take Tua. Then the next year I'll pay another 25 million on top of that. You get a quarterback for 25 million dollars at Tua level, right? So I'm gonna remove the risk by taking half of that money off the table. And now I'm paying 50 million over 2 years rather than the 99 million that they're talking about 100 million. So
The cap
you
hit's going to
gotta
be
you gotta you
99
gotta
million,
wheel and deal.
the cap hit's going to be 99 million, but I agree with you. I think that the team that has that first pick that's going to take Mendoza, we give them all our draft picks and we give them Tua, and we tell them we'll pay all of Tua's salary.
Half.
We'll take the
Half.
full cap hit. You
No.
take Tua, we'll take Mendoza, and you take our draft picks.
Mm.
That's the way it'll work. I think we can work it that way, and then that team can say, okay, we don't have to pay Tua, we don't have to worry about a cap hit. So yeah, we'll take him, try him out, put him as our backup, and let it go.
I'm gonna make you a deal.
And
And
if
you
I was on the
can't
Dolphins and
refuse.
my contract was up and I found out they're trading all the way, they're trading all their draft picks for Mendoza, I'd be going to the GM going, well, guess what? You're not drafting anybody to replace me. I want a new contract, and I'm not cheap anymore either. You can't give up all your draft picks. Remember with the who was it? Oh, the New Orleans Saints when they gave up all those draft picks for who was it? Ricky Williams
Ricky
or
Williams, yeah.
Yeah,
and what happened? What happened to the Saints after that? They went 4 years. They couldn't win more than 3 games a year.
They had to get rid of Ricky.
Yeah, they had to get rid of Ricky. If you can't give up, you can give up a few draft picks. You can't give up a lot. I think Tua is going to be a Miami Dolphin next year. He's going to be on the bench, and Dolphins are just because the only way a team will take him is with a draft pick. They go, we're going to give you Tua and a second round or something like that, and the Dolphins can't afford that. So the Dolphins are going to say, either way, we're going to take a hit. So we're just going to leave you down there and just be on the team.
I think there's a deal to be made with Tua because I think there's teams out there that would say, yeah, he needs a fresh start.
Who would take? Have you seen Tua this year? Who would take Tua? Okay.
I'm
telling you, there's people out there that'll take Tua. He's an Alabama quarterback.
Well, like I said, if we carry his contract, if we pay him, then it's really a no risk for another team. If they don't like it, they cut him. We still pay him.
I don't think you can do that, man. I don't think you can
come in.
I think you can only pay a small percentage of size. It's not like baseball, where like when the Marlins traded Stanton to the Yankees, the Marlins are still paying Stanton to this day part of his salary. I don't think you can do that in the NFL. You can only give them. You can go, hey, you can take Tua, but we'll give you a draft pick too if you take them. They're covering money or something. That's I can't see.
No, I think they can do that. They can at least cover a portion of that contract. They can tell the team you pay half. Like Jose was saying, somebody pays 25 million, we pay 25 million, and go.
Honestly, name me a team who
we'll pay him the full deal.
Name me a team who would take Tua.
You go to whoever's got that number one pick, the Giants.
Giants. The Giants. The Giants.
And you tell them, listen. You take our first and second round, and you take Tua. We'll pay his contract. It's no risk for you with Tua, and you have our first round pick, so you can go get your quarterback or whatever you need. And I would take that deal if I was the Giants. I would take that deal.
I wouldn't
for sure.
Yeah, the Jets would take him.
The Jets are that dumb.
The Jets would take him. The Cardinals would take him.
I think the Giants would take him. We need that first pick though if we want Mendoza.
Oh, the Dolphins. You're right, Jeff. The Dolphins could pay his salary in their team, but if you pay his salary, it doesn't matter. It still counts against your cap.
Oh yeah. We would take the cap hit no matter what. We're going to take the cap hit. There's no way around it, really. There's no other team that's going to take him and pay that money.
The only way you can get rid of Tua and not have a cap hit is if you trade him with a draft pick or two, and the team takes those draft picks too, and they accept the salary. And Tua may be renegotiating. I still believe Tua is going to be a Dolphin next year. He's going to be on the bench. It's going to be, oh, crap. That's why we're rebuilding, because of that jerk on the bench. Okay, sitting over there.
Well, see, I think Tua wants out. Right now, Tua wants out.
Oh,
and
okay.
he'll agree to restructure the contract.
He's gonna demand a trade.
He wants out.
And he'll have to restructure the contract if he's going to demand a trade. They're going to
maybe
say
he
the
just
only way that
adds
happens.
4 more years to the contract and makes him like $30 million a year, something like that, right? And kind of spread it out a little bit more. And then maybe somebody will take him. Who knows? Maybe then we could trade him. But
Well, I'm talking about going for that first pick to get Mendoza. So you're going to have to carry that contract. We're going to have to carry that contract. The other team's going to have Tua for free and our draft picks. And that's a deal they'll take. Like you said, it's a deal you can't refuse. How can they refuse that deal? They're going to get 2 or 3 draft picks. You give them the first and the second, maybe a fifth and a sixth, something, you give them 3 or 4 picks and Tua, and they don't have to pay Tua. I would take that deal.
I don't know, man.
And then they could cut Tua. If Tua just can't, just cut him. We still have to carry his contract. They can cut him and it won't cost them anything. Or they can then trade him because then his trade value becomes better because there's no contract that goes with him. The Dolphins made the deal. They're going to carry his contract. He can go anywhere he wants.
then they may even get more draft picks for him.
Yeah, you can go into next year's draft picks.
It's like the gift that kept on giving. Who was that guy getting draft picks for?
It was like when Dallas traded Herschel Walker. They traded Herschel Walker to Minnesota for every single one of Minnesota's draft picks, and then Jimmy Johnson built a Super Bowl winning team.
Yeah, that's a trade like that's never going to happen again. Nobody's going to be that stupid. The interesting thing is pretty much every ranking has Mendoza as the number 2 quarterback in the draft.
Okay.
The guy Dante Moore from Oregon. And then you have the third who's ranked up there with Mendoza is Ty Simpson, but he's from Alabama, and I never want to see another Alabama quarterback again in this town.
Not even Joe Namath? You wouldn't draft Joe Namath?
I said again. I don't know, man. I'm surprised is they haven't named the permanent GM yet. I forgot who's the interim GM.
That's true.
I'm sure there are a couple of people who'd be great GMs who are looking at Dolphins and going, no.
They can come in with a clean slate, really.
It all depends. Hey, remember, everything comes down from Stephen Ross. He's the one who kept Greer here for so long. Okay? He's the one who says, okay, that's good. Okay, when it comes down to it, it's his say. And there's some teams that just are run bad. And it goes all the,
Well, there's another option is we can try to go after an existing quarterback, sort of like Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville, where we can give draft picks and things and try to pull in Trevor Lawrence.
You heard about what the Dolphins ordered.
In a heartbeat, I would take Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. The breaking story after the game Sunday was that the Dolphins back a couple of years ago offered Cincinnati 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks to move up to pick Joe Burrow.
Right.
And they didn't move
Cincinnati.
And Cincinnati said no.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
Hey, but Jacksonville might say yes.
Yeah.
Not the way Jacksonville's playing this year.
They're going to be eliminated from the playoffs, and then they'll change their mind. You have to wait until they're eliminated. Jacksonville's not going to win the Super Bowl.
Remember, Jacksonville is probably the least value. It is the least valued team in the NFL. They have a hard time selling tickets because Jacksonville's not that big of a city. Right. In size, it's huge. It's the biggest city in the country, but in actual population, it's not that big, and it's not a very rich county either. And when you have a quarterback who's the golden boy and everybody loves, and he takes you to the playoffs,
sunshine.
And I remember people gave me a dirty look after like this 4th season. I go, you know something? This team could be Super Bowl bound if they traded Marino and got some picks and some players for him. And of course, everybody looked at me like I was crazy, and it turned out, hey, Marino's taking us to the Super Bowl. He's gonna have all those Pete Rozelle trophies behind him.
Yeah, man, that's a whole podcast. I mean, we could have a whole podcast on Marino, why Marino didn't get to the Super Bowl. We could go season by season.
By the mid 80s, I was like, you know something? I think they should fire Shula. People looked at me. He's going to win more Super Bowls.
He could have, but Marino's Achilles kept us out of there.
Anyway, for the next topic about Marino's Achilles, which was his ego. So Tampa Bay. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention Nick, special teams. Let's hear it. You're quieter than usual this week, Nick. Guys, Nick couldn't make it this week. Love the guy. Hey, high five for Nick. So
he didn't make the game either. So,
okay. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is another. I think I mentioned in our group chat that back in August, did anybody have the Jacksonville Jaguars, the best NFL team in Florida?
No.
Okay. No. Everybody thought Tampa was a lock to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
Now they got to play. They have to beat Miami.
They got to win. They're coming to win. They're coming to win on Sunday.
Oh yeah, they're going to do that. They'll do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Baker Mayfield's another.
They're 7-8, right? They're 7-8. They're looking to become 500. Mm-hmm. Right? They got to win, and then they got to beat Carolina on January 4th. So what's that make them 9-7?
Yeah, these Dolphins are going to be phoning it in. I mean, they're already making vacation plans. They're going fishing. They already got the charter boat. They're going deep sea fishing down on the Keys.
What's the thing? What's your plans during there are two plans all NFL players make during the season: either reservations for the playoffs or Cancun.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins are going to be in Cancun. Baker Mayfield, he was another guy when Cleveland wanted to let him go. That guy would look good in a Dolphin uniform. I like Baker Mayfield. His team's falling apart around him. Tampa Bay, I believe they shot their shot like 2 years ago. They're not that good. I think
he's just too small. We need that prototype, 6'6", rocket for an arm, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he's the prototype. That's the kind of guy I want right there. In fact, when we drafted Tua, Trevor Lawrence was coming out the year after, and I was just like, can't we just wait another season? We can tank another season. Mm-hmm. We can have the first pick, and really build the team. You could start building the team with that Tua season where we had the 5th pick, and start building. Take those picks and build the team, and so we can be ready when Trevor Lawrence comes out. But they didn't do that. They took Tua.
A lot of people.
Hey, there's some big, like Tony was saying, there's some big quarterbacks. We don't necessarily have to get Mendoza. I mean, I like that the Dante kid that you were talking about, right? I mean, he's a pretty big kid. And there's a pretty big kid out of South Carolina. So, if we lose a couple more games, I mean, we'll be in a position to swap out.
I'm just tired of undersized quarterbacks. I don't care if they're mobile or not. I just want a big guy that's got a rocket for an arm.
There's the guy from Sellers from South Carolina is like 6'3", 240 pounds, considered a dual threat, right? Got a rocket arm.
Okay, here's one. How about Joe Burrow? A lot of people talking. He wants out of Cincinnati. People even talking about him maybe coming to Miami, trading for him, getting him.
But like first round draft picks?
I don't know. I could see a couple of second rounders.
Like
You
more
know,
than one? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it depends on how we would work out in the first, because if we can get to like 6, 7, 8, I mean, we're talking about the first four. If the first four quarter, I mean, we're talking about going into the s- second spot, third spot, fourth spot, maybe fifth spot, depending on need for those teams, right? We're just looking for a couple of positions. I mean, we shouldn't have to give up the house for that,
then
especially on a
again,
team that doesn't need a quarterback.
if you're like Jeff and you think the Dolphins are a quarterback away from playoff contention,
Oh yeah,
then Joe Burrow's your man.
could be.
You know,
Yeah,
that guy can play.
he can play.
And
He plays
you
on a
probably wouldn't have to
crappy.
give up. Probably wouldn't have to give up much.
You know,
You know,
he plays.
whereas Mendoza, you'd have to give away the house. You'd have to give everything.
But he would
Yeah.
be a real option, when it comes to, when the running game starts to stall a little bit, he's a real option and he can read a defense and he's got a good arm and he can make you pay for putting 8 guys in a box.
Yeah, I'm not discounting Mendoza. I think he's a great arm. He's a great quarterback. But
Yeah.
there's also the mystique about him. He's like everybody in the media loves the guy. Heisman
And you
Trophy. He's
hear
the
the
golden
drums.
boy.
Yeah,
You know, he gets in
that's
front
what
of them.
holds me back from wanting him is the Heisman Trophy deal because usually the Heisman winner is terrible in the NFL.
That's a lot of pressure, right?
Yeah, but he's also like when he gets in front of the microphone, he knows how to talk to the media. The media loves him. He loves his mother's in a wheelchair. His dad was crying. I mean, it's like the guy was made in marketing heaven.
You want me to tell you? You want me to tell you what's pressure? What's pressure is talking crap about Ruben Bain and then being in front of 114,000 of your in front of your guys, being the first offsides false start, right? Talking your crap, and all of a sudden it's like false start on the guy who's been talking crap, right? And so
Well, that's for another podcast.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, but
That's for the scene.
that's now. Wait, Ohio State's starting to talk crap. They're putting pressure on themselves. Man.
Going to the Canes. This is going to be a tough one for the Canes to win. Ohio's a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
If they beat Ohio State
To the
Indiana,
moon.
it's going to be either Miami versus Indiana or Miami versus Oregon for the national championship, and neither one of those two teams want to play the Dolphins.
You mean the Miami?
The Hurricanes.
Hurricanes, yeah.
Yeah.
They'd probably be okay playing the Dolphins.
Yeah, because both Oregon and Indiana, both great teams. They both got their 1 and 2 picks, quarterbacks. None of those two guys want to face that Hurricanes defense. Okay, because that'll cost them money.
Yeah.
It'll probably they're going, oh man, this might cost me some salary cap money here.
They don't want to play. They don't want to play. Right now, look, they're talking crap. Let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. Hey, there's a lot of people coming out of the woodwork reminding the kids, exactly how important this game is against Ohio State. This is what makes this path so great, right? We beat A&M. If we can beat Ohio State, that's like a revenge. That's like vengeance. The game should be called Vengeance, right? And then what's his name? Beck has to play against Georgia. I mean, this is
Beck has got to play a lot better than he played in the last game. I mean, that was really bad. The whole offense really stunk the place up. I don't know how they won that game as bad as the offense was playing.
Jeff, it was because there was like gale force winds out there.
That was
right?
a defensive battle.
That's why it was a defensive battle because you could only run, right? So that's all you could do. And then there was like 6 field goals missed in that game.
Right? All right, guys, we're running out of time.
All right, here we go.
Dolphins, Tampa Bay, the tampons from Tampa Bay. Is that what they called?
Oh my God.
The Buccaneers.
From Buccaneers.
Are the Dolphins winning? Do they have a chance? Jeff?
No.
Jose?
I'm going to say no.
You know what? Man, I just don't see a path to victory here. If it is, because I here's what I think. I think the real game is the last game. I think these first two games for Quinn are going to be his preseason games, right? I think the real judgment on Quinn is going to be in the snow in New England. That'll be the game where he's had the most practice with his starters. And I think we could give maybe a little bit of judgment at that point because I don't think they're going to be playing for much.
Well, he's gonna be playing backups.
Yeah.
Patriots are gonna be resting everybody.
I got the Dolphins winning
No.
this game because I believe
Okay.
Quinn's going to have some numbers, and Tampa Bay has a really bad secondary. I think he can. It's going to be a low scoring game. Uh, but I think if that's the last game, I think Miami has a chance to win. They're going to unless New England is like totally wrapped up their seeding in the
Oh,
playoffs.
Wait.
When they play all the backups. Other than that, this is the last chance for Dolphins to win. If
All
they
right.
want to win, wink, wink, wink. So, Nick, and your pick is?
I'm going to say Miami 24-14.
There you go. All right, guys, like, subscribe, do some comments. We got Jose, we got Jeff, me, Nick. Where's Nick now? Is he still in Jersey now, or where's he at? I don't know.
Maryland. He's in Maryland.
Maryland, Jersey, Maryland, all the same crap. See you guys next week. Hopefully, we'll be smiling. Hi.